Hello, Ballarat. I grew up just around the corner from here. I threw up just around the corner from here. So if you're walking home along Lydiard Street, just mind your step. I did actually grow up in Ballarat though, but I moved away when I was 21, and I've only just moved back here to live about 6 months ago. So this is my first time performing comedy in my old hometown, and I've been really nervous. So felt like I've had butterflies in my stomach all day. Turns out I just had a moth in my shirt. I'm really enjoying being back in Ballarat though, but my son's had a couple of sort of teething problems trying to fit into what to him is a completely new hometown. His first mistake was with Halloween, when he decided to wear a piñata costume to trick or treat. The other kids beat the shit out of him. And then he was caught riding on the side of a train at Wendouree Station. Fortunately, he escaped without a conviction because he proved that the train was stationary. After that, he had an aha moment, and now he wants to take on me. For those who didn't get that, the joke only relies on people knowing that there was a band called Aha that released a song called Take On Me. Even then, I think it's a bit of a lame joke. I publish a comic strip on Instagram, and this is where I think it gets funny, because I included my aha joke in the comic strip and was immediately followed by the band Aha, which shortly after unfollowed me, presumably because they had an aha moment. My father was president of the Australian Society of Skeptics, but they never believed him. You guys are awesome. My last gig was at an RSL club. They insisted on observing a minute's silence after each of my punchlines. My grandfather was an admiral in the Australian Navy, and when he died, they buried him at sea. 7 sailors drowned while digging his grave. I like to hold my wife's hand when we go shopping, so she can't buy anything. Seriously, she's always wanting to buy stuff. Quite often they're really expensive items. Like today, she said she wanted to buy a bidet because she's sick of papering over the cracks. On the whole, I prefer paper. Then again, I am a tight ass. Still, I've been known to buy some pretty weird things myself over time. Like last year I bought a pet koala on Gumtree. Some people say that koalas get intoxicated from eating gum leaves, and I don't know whether that's true or not, but ever since my little bloke discovered my neighbour's marijuana plantation, he's been completely off his tree. I know a lady who loved the film Finding Nemo so much that she even got a tattoo of a clownfish on her ankle. Unfortunately, it keeps getting caught in her stockings, especially when she wears fishnets. speaking of movies, I watched Ghost the other night, starring Patrick Swayze, and I couldn't help thinking he'd be even more convincing in the role now that he's dead. There's been a lot of controversy in recent times about whether networks should use artificial intelligence to come up with ideas for movies and TV programs. And I heard that AI came up with a concept for a sequel to Groundhog Day that's exactly the same as the original. AI also came up with an idea for a reality TV program called Race to the Edge of the World. It's like Race Around the World, except all the contestants are members of the Flat Earth Society. I watch a lot of reality TV, and over summer I've been binging on episodes of German MasterChef. It's quite different from the Aussie version. One of the contestants in the latest series was a neo-Nazi, but he got eliminated in the first week because he burnt the Jews. I've come up with an idea for a reality program myself. I call it a celebrity scavenger hunt. I'd particularly like to see some of my favourite pop bands from the 1980s competing against each other. I think the Boomtown Rats would be fantastic scavengers, as long as the filming wasn't done on Mondays. But undoubtedly, the best scavengers, based on their name alone, would have to be a flock of seagulls. Sorry about all the 80s pop references. That's just where my head's at the moment. What about Nick Cave? Are there any Nick Cave fans in the audience? A couple. I actually went to school with Nick for a short while. He's done very well for himself. Puts a lot of bums on seats. But it wasn't always like that. At school, he used to put cocks and balls on the seats. And bums on the photocopiers. Also been reading a lot about the Beatles recently. Apparently the band broke up when John Lennon announced he was going to marry a lady named Yoko, or Nearest Offer. I used to do a bit about the Beatles several years ago, based on a story that Paul McCartney told about when he and John Lennon and a few other dudes all decided to masturbate together at John's house. And I wondered whether any of the Beatles songs might have been inspired by that session. I went through some of the obvious candidates, like Come Together, With a Little Help from My Friends, Norwegian Wood, and even some of their solo hits, like Coming Up, Whatever Gets You Through the Night. And then some bloke in the audience yelled out, I am the walrus. And I thought, that's weird, but look, who knows, maybe. And then just over 12 months ago, I read that the town of Scarborough in England had to cancel their New Year's Eve fireworks because there was a walrus masturbating on the beach near their launch pad. So now I have to keep telling that story just on the off chance that guy from my previous gig is in the audience. Because if you are, well played, man. Cheers, guys. Have a great night and go Ballarat.
Rob Walsh, come on! Yeah. things, talking about the RSL. I did a gig at Dalesford RSL recently.